What's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? We got some people in the chat already. What's going on? This is TeamBoydTV Live. I'm your boy, Big Q. And we're going to be talking about we're at the halfway point, talking about week 8. I got my boys with me as always. I got the Raven Shogun. What's going on, Raven Shogun? JB is happening.
What up, man? What up, Fab? JB, Big Q.
Yeah.
Glad to be back on. Everybody on social media, we appreciate you guys joining the show.
What you chuckling about, man?
Hey, man, have you seen his
Yeah, I just saw it.
the ghost?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
Sam
Darnold,
yeah. Anyway, I got to say the sports. Glass is in the building. What's going on, Glass?
It's all good, man. Let's go ahead and get this crap.
Yeah, you didn't like the thumbnail with Sam Darnold? Look,
I loved it. Actually, I didn't.
We're a couple days out from Halloween, and he already seeing ghosts. Like,
He's already seeing ghosts,
already
exactly.
seeing ghosts, you know what I mean? We got a pretty good show tonight. Seattle Seahawks 5668 is in the building. Joshua AB33 is in the building. What's going on, fellas? I'm glad y'all.
What up?
We are at the halfway mark of the season already, fellas. I don't know if y'all want to believe it or not, but that's where we at. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's going by quick. Well, 8 up, we got 8 left, huh?
You know what I'm saying? And I want to thank everybody who support me and Bernie's little foray into the podcasting world. We've been having a lot of fun with the show. Been playing around with some different ways of trying to get it out amongst the people. And so I've been having fun with it. Glass, you dropped the voice message, and it kind of surprises a little bit because like I should have listened to it before we started recording.
Yeah.
And I didn't. So we were recording,
I noticed.
and then I go and I play the voice message. I'm like, oh, well, he done caught us off guard. You know what I mean? Like, he got us. But it was cool, though. I definitely appreciate that. So for those who have not seen it, go check out, do it tonight, because tomorrow the information will be a little bit outdated. So you want to go check out TeamBoydTV Game Time on the podcast platform of your choice. We're on Apple Podcasts. It's on Google Podcasts. It's on Spreaker. It's on Stitcher, Spotify, all that good stuff. Okay, fellas, how was y'all's week, man?
It's been pretty normal, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty good. What about you, Glass? Everything going good around your way, man? Everything straight?
Everything good. Can't complain. You know what? But I have to say this though. Even though we're going into week 8, I still don't understand how to pick these teams, man.
I agree with you, Glass.
Not supposed to.
You know what I'm having the most problems with? Not the early Sunday games. The late Sunday games get me, right? I look at the thing at the about fourth quarter of the 1 o'clock games, and I'm doing good, right? And then I check it again about halftime and the 4 o'clock game. That's when I'm getting off from work, and I'm losing every single game. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. But let me tell you this, JB. I got my heart broke because I don't know if we talked about it last week on the show or not, but I had this thing in my mind about what I was expecting on Sunday with the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, right?
Right.
Because I had heard the news. Urban Meyer was talking about he was interested in the Cowboys head coaching job, which I knew had Jerry Jones' mouth like watering. And I'm like, oh, they done lost 3 in a row. Let's deliver them this 4th win. Jerry makes a move on Jason Garrett, brings in Urban Meyer. I wanted to see all these dominoes fall. But man, did the Cowboys show up or not? Well, they're in desperation mode or what, God Glass? What happened there?
Looked like Coach Peterson and the Eagles aren't who we expected to be at the beginning of the season, because we had them going to the playoffs and they were supposed to be Super Bowl contenders. Yeah. It looks like right now the players are going against Carson Wentz. They committed a mutiny. Yeah. Look like Peterson don't know what he's doing. He don't know how to game plan for anybody. And not knocking the Cowboys, don't get me wrong. They still a good team, formidable team and everything, but come on, man, you can't go out like that.
Yeah, you know what? I was very disappointed in the Eagles. I fully expected JB that Doug, especially the statement that he made, he pretty much guaranteed the win.
Right.
Kind of made him a little bit upset. Dak and Zeke, they had a point to prove. After Doug Peterson's Super Bowl performance, man, I hold him in regard as one of my favorite coaches because I was talking to DeVerney about that on the podcast about how because of that, I always hold him in high regards, man. But Lord, how do you go into Jerry World and get embarrassed like that, JB?
Well, that's exactly what you just said. Just because they won a Super Bowl, they think they can, they the first ones to ever win one. When in reality, it's their first one, so they want to tell everybody how to do it. Yeah. I think they need to. Their attitude is a reflection of the league. It'll eat you up. Yeah, you won a Super Bowl. What's that? A year ago? 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
That was then. This is now, and you losing. And you just you can't rest on your laurels, man. And I think it's players, coaches, the organization at the top alike, all of them, they got an ego about them for something that happened 2 years ago.
So last week, we had a topic was talking about, returning quarterbacks and the standards and the narrative on certain quarterbacks coming back and so on and so forth. So quarterbacks are getting healthy, right? We got the word that, the Panthers on the bye this week, but we got a word that Cam was cleared, even though, it depends on the bye last week.
How about to say?
We had word that Cam was cleared, but he's not going to get the start. But it's rumblings, JB, I mean Glass, it's rumblings about Drew Brees being ready to go. And so me and Vernon discussed it a little bit, but the narrative, Jay, I know you had a lot to say about it last week, but the narrative seems to be a lot different. It seems like Drew Brees is going to show up to the facility and going to take first team reps, Glass, and ain't nobody saying a word about it. So how was that different than the situation in Carolina?
Well, we know that Cam, I don't think Cam is 100% healthy over there. And like you said, there's trade rumors. I hit y'all up soon, I think after the show, hit y'all up on Twitter saying that I hear rumblings that Chicago might be trying to go get Cam.
Yeah, right.
On the other hand, we got not saying Cam is not a Hall of Famer, but we know we got a first ballot Hall of Famer in Drew Brees. Mm-hmm. And Drew Brees is not going to do anything to harm the team. He's a team leader. That being said, Teddy Bridgewater, he ain't going against the grain. He gonna go with the team. Let's not forget, he could have went to Miami. He decided to stay with Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints for a certain reason. This might have been the reason why, making himself look good. What is he, 4-0 right now?
5-0.
5-0, right? He just whipped on my hometown Chicago Bears. So he did what he had to do. When Drew Brees come back, he's gonna sit back and let him do his thing. He already made his marketing successful.
Yes, absolutely. So Jimmy, look, listen, I don't know. It's so weird to listen to people talk, and it's a smooth, like, ain't nobody saying, like, ain't no controversy, ain't no, oh well, Bridgewater has had this percentage, this completion percentage, and he's been this great, and his QBR has been this in 5 weeks straight, and should we continue to let him play with the high hand? Why is this not a conversation? It's like Drew gonna come in and just gonna pick up from where he left off.
It should be, and look, man. No matter how easy it is for people to want Breeze to go back over Bridgewater or Kyle to stay over Cam, the narrative is clear. I see it, you see it. I think Drew Brees is way worse off than Cam as far as injury goes. This guy had a surgically repaired thumb on his throwing hand. That's how quarterbacks make their money. Okay, so we're talking about a foot with Cam Newton. Some people speculate a shoulder, but I'm just saying we're talking about a foot versus a throwing hand thumb, surgically repaired thumb. It's a witch hunt, man. I'm still not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Carolina make the mistake.
Yeah,
the mistake, trade Cam Newton. I think it's 2 teams that's like several teams, but it's a team. Denver need a quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's like 4.
Chicago need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Let Cam go ahead and get him a Super Bowl. He tried to take Carolina there. They obviously never want to go back.
The Browns say Carolina get ready to get put under the fire because what do? I mean, from everything I read, that they saying that they're fine with Cam. They ain't even thinking about trading him. But the interest is there, and I mean, it depends on what the offer look like. I mean, you never know. So I would never say never, Glass. I would never say that. But I will say this. I don't know if it's one of the games. It might be one of the games you have for us to talk about later. Because I know the question that you had for me and Vernie was about the 49ers and the Patriots. And speaking of which, the Panthers just so happen to have the 49ers coming off the bye week with Kyle Allen as the starter. And I know we're going to talk about that game later, but I got a feeling, JB, that Kyle Allen getting ready to have a rude awakening, right?
Yeah. I also want to say this, too. You remember how most of the people who were just against Kaepernick's message only, they try to make these, they try to fudge numbers to say that he couldn't play no more. I'm like, man, and I'm preaching to the choir. I won't even go there right now. Unless a button get pushed. But it's pretty easy. They're trying to save the position for the conservative drop back passer. Yeah. The game is ever evolving. Those with one, you'll see that you'll be left behind.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I inadvertently kind of pissed Vernie off on the podcast last night, we got to talk about the MVP race, Glass. She got a little perturbed about the prospects and what the standings were looking like right now because she's 100% against a quarterback being the guy. Now, hold on, before we get into that, because we're going to talk about it. She don't like the fact that, it's always a quarterback first in everybody's mind. But, there's people in the race that's like Christian McCaffrey is a name. I was asking her, what do you guys think? If we take the quarterbacks off the table, right? Who could we put in this MVP race? That's a non-quarterback. I'm coming to you first, JB. What you think about it? Because I mean, there's no defensive players stepping out on their own like that. Like I can't think of one.
Oh well, I mean, a lot of people. I don't glaze over the defense. I think that's the most important part of the football team. So I'm definitely would go Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, like I said earlier. Definitely will be going toward Khalil and what they're doing quietly, and Lattimore, the cornerback for the Saints.
Right. Okay. And so I hear the argument, and that's the argument that she was coming with. But then, Glass, you heard those names, right? You might want to add a few, right? You want to add a few to it?
Nick Bosa.
She said Nick Bosa. She said Nick Bosa. She said that. Okay. So we saw those names, right? Aside from maybe Christian McCaffrey and maybe Dalvin Cook, maybe Alvin Kamara while he's been with Teddy Bridgewater. Which one of those could stand toe to toe in the voting against a Aaron Rodgers right now, right? Tom Brady probably, right? You know, maybe. We can't really talk about. What's the man's name with KC? Can't talk about him right now.
Oh,
right?
Patrick
Can't
Mahomes.
really talk about him right now. Even though
Lamar Jackson.
Okay, Lamar Jackson, that's another one, right? So let's just leave it at a short list like that. There's 3.
Okay.
So let's just go narrow it on down. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson for a minute. Everything that he's done this season so far. I mean, can you say that there was one defensive player or a non-quarterback that would get outvoted if you put them up against Lamar Jackson right now in the voting? What you think?
Yeah, not even close. Not even the 2 running backs I mentioned.
Right.
Yeah.
And I say that only because the quarterback position is polarizing.
Right.
Exactly. You know, that's what I was about to say. You know, that you could go to college and say that with the Heisman Trophy winner. You know, most likely it's going to be a quarterback because everything surrounds the quarterback.
Absolutely.
Defense, trying to do is on defense, you get to the quarterback.
Right.
What you're trying to do on defense, stop the quarterback pass or block it or whatever.
Yes.
Everything surrounds, like you said, polarized around the quarterback.
Now, one of her other arguments was the quarterback is one of the most protected players on the field. So the level of competition is a little bit different, right? You're a defensive player. He going up against, all these offensive linemen trying to get to the quarterback to be disruptive. It's a little harder for, a defensive back or an edge rusher or somebody like that, maybe even a quarterback for that matter, to, make his status so he can be looked at in a regard that's higher than somebody like.
I think the gap is wider because they equated this likability in the MVP candidacy, which I think is nonsense. It's all about what you do. I don't know. Are you the MVP of the league or for your team?
Well, this is the league, so. Okay,
so you can't be the MVP, can't even be legitimized as a candidate halfway through the season. Well, it don't even make sense. I don't even know how they got a race right now. How you quantifying a race plus players are playing different positions?
It's weird.
So you're saying that you like a guy for what he's doing? Okay, is that it?
I think it's more of what is it? Is it more of what kind of, because the title is what? Most valuable player.
Okay, let's keep that in mind.
So all right. So team that's most valuable, that's playing. The most valuable guy in the league, right? No matter the position. Okay, most valuable player, and so how can a Nick Bosa get his stats up or the attention up? Because basically it's like the Heisman. Whoever making the most noise is gonna win, right? And that's what this MVP race is, right? Whoever making the most noise is gonna win it.
Well, you got to put it in consideration. Another thing is that the quarterback touched the ball every time, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So a defensive player, he has to be like outstanding. He got to have like hella sacks and hella tackles and everything, which is very hard to do.
Yes, it is.
What you can't do no more without likability, but be the MVP of your team.
Right.
Because if they don't like you, you don't get MVP of the league.
No doubt.
I mean,
and it's nonsense. That's why the MVP trophy don't matter.
Right.
Why the guy say, give me the championship.
Right. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But it's sad that we have to sit there and talk about it every year. And most of the time, about 85-90% of the time, it's gonna go to a quarterback, right?
But it do look good on your resume. Because Cam got one, Mahomes got one.
Yeah. I'm saying, and then those years where you can get Super Bowl MVP and league MVP in the same year. Come on, man, that's awesome, right there. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't know. I just don't think she's gonna get her wish unless, like I said, a defensive player or a running back just does. I mean, like I said, I think what Christian McCaffrey is doing is he's making a lot of noise. I think he probably gonna end. He's on pace to do 1,000 and 1,000, right? 1,000 plus. I mean, 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving. He might be able to pull that off. I mean, it depends if they don't disrupt this quarterback situation that he's under right now.
What if you're an outstanding player on a team that's not winning?
Well, you don't have a chance.
You still won't win MVP, so it's a sham. That's my point.
So, at the end of the day, you still got to win, right? That's
exactly.
Too, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's whack. That's the.
When was the last time a non-quarterback won MVP? Was that?
I think it was J.J. Watt, wasn't it? No,
that was JJ.
That was defensive player. No, maybe no.
Exactly.
Adrian Peterson.
It was Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, but they had to legitimize that. They made the playoffs barely.
Right.
Yes. And I think he had a share too, didn't he?
Yeah, maybe so.
I think he did. He shared it with a quarterback, as a matter of fact.
Peyton Manning.
Yes, he did. Yes, he shared it with Peyton.
So you can't win the MVP if you're not liked and you're not winning.
Right.
Exactly.
So a winner 15 team like a Larry Fitzgerald, he would never win.
No, you can't get MVP.
No. Right.
Even though he's done more for the team, his team over the years and the league,
right,
combined with some of these guys.
Well, most valuable player means, you know what, if without you, whoever, your team wouldn't win and you wouldn't be effective in the NFL.
Right.
Now, if you're on a losing team, you irrelevant.
I mean, pretty much, right?
You know what I'm saying?
But didn't Barry Sanders win MVP one time? They never won.
I don't think he did.
You see, and that's a shame if that's true.
Right.
I think he got rushing titles and stuff like that. Maybe team MVP, but I don't
offensive
think he's
player,
league MVP.
How can you be good for the league if they don't like you and you're not winning?
Well, no.
And if that's the qualifier, then it's definitely a shame.
So I thought it would be whoever is the most valuable player to the league. So, for example, that year that the Carolina Panthers went 15-1, Cam Newton won the league MVP that year. Got stomped out in the Super Bowl by your Denver
He was good for the league.
He was good for the league, right?
He had the dab. He was good for the league. He was attraction for the league. The kids loved him.
Player that year.
That's rock solid. But when Matt Ryan won it, hell nah, that was the most boring MVP winner ever. Right, no offense to the DBN. I'm just saying it was pretty
right. It was pretty bad. Right. So I don't get it. I guess it's too many variables in that. You know, I guess
it's too many non-quantifiable variables. Like and what you do for your team, you can win the league MVP for what you do for one team.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's crazy out there. But you know, I thought she had a compelling argument, so I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. Because you know, when she hit me with it, I was like, really? I didn't even think about it to being like a non-quarterback. I was like, no, it's always like a quarterback. I mean, why not, right? That's what it is, right? So,
well, you know what? And the league won't let a defensive player win because you see all the stipulations they put up against. You can't land on the quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
You can't hit him you can't hit him on the side of the thing. So they got their hands tied behind their back.
Absolutely.
There is no likable defender in the league. Or if you're playing defense anywhere, people like Patrick Beverly in the NBA until they see him on the other end of the floor.
A couple years ago, everybody was in love with Von Miller.
You're like Lance Stevenson until you see him on the other end of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, because a defender got to be kind of nasty, right?
That's right.
You know,
have to be mean.
But before, like a couple years ago, everybody was in love with Von Miller. Before that, they were in love with Ray Lewis, right?
In love with Khalil Mack now,
right? You know, Khalil Mack. So Luke Kuechly. You know, so I mean, there's a few out
there. But let one of the crazy things happen in football, like they always do. One guy tried to duck. Kuechly already lined his tackle up, the helmet to helmet. They got, you know, and it's a bad hit, and then they're going you taint it after that.
Absolutely. So Seattle Seahawks says 5668 says since 2000, 4 running backs have gotten MVP. What are those? Reggie Bush? I think it was, wasn't it?
Nah, I don't think
so.
No.
Reggie Bush? Okay, it was Adrian Peterson, right? We know that for sure. But it was co-VMP, right? Co-MVP.
I believe so.
But I'm saying who else would because I think one of the other ones was Reggie Bush. I think it was.
Nah, Reggie didn't do nothing for the league to get a MVP nod in the league.
Super Bowl with the Saints that year, didn't he?
That don't mean he wasn't
he wasn't no MVP.
No.
So we said 4 running backs. I know Adrian Peterson. I can't think.
Maybe Todd Gurley. Maybe I don't. I think
maybe Todd Gurley. Maybe
I don't know.
You know, I don't know. Like I said, it's a compelling conversation. But he said Alexander Tomlinson, AP, and Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
Alexander, you know, Sean Alexander from Seattle.
They did have and LaDainian had the 22, but it's still here we go again. It's still associated with winning.
It is associated.
All those guys are associated with winning, likability.
Well, Sean Alexander didn't win. They didn't win.
They went to the Super. They did. They didn't win it.
Yeah, they didn't win it, but they went. Yeah.
Okay.
They lost against Pittsburgh.
I remember when he was on the cover of Madden.
What about LaDainian? Where does he win?
They lost the AFC Championship against the Patriots that year he won.
AP ain't won nothing.
They lost in the playoffs, but he was on the brink of the breaking.
Marshall Faulk is the only one who don't won a Super Bowl.
I think that was the year he almost broke that record.
Yeah, almost broke the record.
Right. Missed it by like a couple. Okay.
And here's Marshall Faulk were part of the greatest show on turf. Get out of here. It's a moot point. It's a moot point.
All right, so we'll move on. Thank you, Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, shouts out.
So anyway, so we every 4 weeks we got to look at the standings before we before we move on to see where everything is at. I'm gonna start in NFC this time, just because I don't know. We started here and then we ended up way over here somewhere. Glass, like let's go out west where out of nowhere, and maybe I'm the one who's like got it twisted. Glass, maybe it's me who ain't got it together, but the San Francisco 49ers being 6-0 right now is baffling to me. Now, granted, I'm gonna tell you, I said this to Vernie, and she told me I was crazy because they have been balling out. They have, but earlier this year, before we got into the season, before everybody strapped up, but I know this is what counts. The regular season is what the preseason crap that we talk about in July don't really mean nothing. But come on now, did y'all see this?
I did not see the 49ers being undefeated at this point in time, being 6-0. I give credit to Kyle Shanahan. He know how to dial up an offense. I don't know who the name of the defensive coordinator, but he's doing his job. They got the tools to do what they got to do. Now, this is what I got to say. Yeah. That I don't know out of the 6 teams who had a legit defense to lay hands on Garoppolo, but I think that's the only way that's going to happen. Somebody's going to have to lay hands on Garoppolo, get him flustered in the pocket. And that's the only way I can see.
In their division, it would have been Los Angeles, but Los Angeles
really?
Well, they done lost both their division games already. I don't even know who they played with against the. They couldn't have lost against
Seattle and
49ers, right?
49ers.
So it would have been them in their own backyard, but I don't know who else would have ran up against. Who probably could? They played against Cleveland, right? Their defense is okay, but it ain't stellar. They ain't really ran into like a brick wall defense yet, though.
Right? Exactly.
I mean, they got work cut out for them this Sunday, though. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how that
well, they only beat Washington by what, 9 points?
Right.
Well, it was a hurricane that game too.
Right. That's true.
So one game back, right? You got Seattle, and they creeping along. And again, I gave them too much credit last week. I think we all did. And again, it's one of them things that Baltimore is so hard to pin down this season. But I thought Seattle was going to outthink and outsmart Baltimore. But man, Baltimore did it with brute strength, right? It's kind of overpowered them. And Seattle says that Carolina going to be the 49ers' biggest test. I think so. To date, I think this would be their first real go. Okay, as we speak, the Rams are slipping down the board. We ain't gonna count the Cardinals. So at the end of the day, in the NFC West, JB, you got the 49ers up by 1. The Seahawks trailing right behind them. Do you see anything crazy happening as we get closer to the playoff push?
Out of their division?
Yeah.
No. I see, the Seahawks with their secondary issues. I see you can't have addition by subtraction in LA, and the Cardinals still trying to figure it out. So they're gonna roll right along. I mean, I'm not saying they're gonna sweep out the division because division games take on a life of their own, but they're gonna be in prime position.
I mean, so far they handling business in the division. Seattle is. They are doing what they need to do in the division, and they're perfect. So. There's that. So that might come back and bite 49ers in the ass later on. But again, like I said, they really ain't had one test so far. So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, there's no easy games in the league, bro.
Nah, definitely not. So as we move up to the NFC South, we got the 6-1 New Orleans Saints. Then we got 4-2 Carolina Panthers. And everything else is garbage, right? 2-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Atlanta Falcons shouldn't even be considered to be an NFL team at this point. Now, the Panthers are 2 games back. With a quarterback change happening in New Orleans, we don't know what's getting ready to happen. Actually, we got a quarterback change pending in Carolina too. This one, when it looked like I was thinking Carolina might be able to climb back into this thing, it's getting ready to get rough, Glass. It's getting ready to get rough.
Man, the Seattle Seahawks have better chance catching the 49ers than your Panthers catching the Saints.
Right.
This was the time that y'all was supposed to catch the Saints while Teddy Bridgewater was behind center.
Right.
Wasn't able to do it. I can't see.
Well, not to no fault of their own. They won every game.
Oh, no. Don't get me wrong. Right. But this was, it ain't your fault. But it ain't going to happen either. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Well, hey, they're gonna have to set up to beat a man. You got to beat him.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So you're gonna have to. Have y'all guys met at all yet in the 2 games?
Not yet.
Okay, so then it'll come down to that. You don't have to worry about them stumbling, falling, quarterback situation. You're gonna have to see them 2 times coming up out of the last 8. So that'll determine who win the whole South.
It really is. But even though Tampa kind of started hot, I think we're done there, right? We can move on from Tampa. We can do that. I'm pretty sure we ought to move on from Atlanta.
They still can hurt you, both teams. Yeah. They can hurt both of y'all.
Exactly.
We're done with Tampa. So luckily for Carolina, we're done with Tampa. We finished.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Right.
Play 2?
Yeah. That's wow. Yeah, that was one in England and one in week 2.
And the reason why you're how many games behind the Saints right now?
2.
You won back because courtesy of Tampa Bay.
Courtesy of Tampa Bay, which Cam that's his worst game ever. But it is what it is, right? That's why we're in the situation that we're in now. As we move on to the NFC North, and this one's another one, Glass. That look, I wasn't ready to give the Green Bay Packers none of this. I wasn't ready to give them none of this. But you know what? And I can't even. Can we chalk it up to who they played? Have they played anybody, JB?
Who?
Who the Packers done played?
They had Chicago. They had Chicago.
Are y'all
early.
serious?
Well, they played Dallas, right?
They went into Dallas and whooped Dallas.
Yeah, they went into but who was Dallas? They got beat by the guy.
Come on now, Dallas. I ain't saying Dallas is a top 5 team, but they formidable, man. Come on, man.
No,
what's Dallas right now? They 4-3.
Yeah, they're 4-3. But
well, you can't watch the stain if the guy that see ghosts beat you handily. Sorry.
I mean, we still got that to deal with, Glass.
I hear you. Yeah, we do.
And it's hard to explain that one, right? So if you can get handled by the Jets, right, and like they got handled by the Jets, like they didn't just get didn't just get to lose the game, they got beat.
Actually, that was a 3rd game that you lost in a row. I don't want to hear that crap Glass about no Dallas Cowboys.
but you know what? But Green Bay. I don't know.
I did not see Green Bay, but I have to give credit. Shout out to Mike Pettit. I think that's his name, defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
They stepped their game up. We knew we were going to get out of Aaron Rodgers, but he didn't have help on that defense. Now
I'm just disappointed in the Chicago Bears right now.
Thank you. And that was my next thing. But then again, the Chicago Bears suck butt right now.
I'm disappointed. You know what
I'm saying?
I'm disappointed because I expected more because they started. And I mean, that defense was so dominant early in the season. And I don't know, man. But
it ain't defense.
It's
Trubisky in that offense.
Okay, and I ain't gonna sit here and try to.
Don't.
No, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it at all, right? So the Vikings only game back, so they still in the fight. They still got some business to handle. They are pretty much they done played all teams. They 3-0 in the division. Who they played on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they 3-0 in the no, they're not. They're 1-2 in the division. I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
Okay, I'm about to say, whoa, I know the Bears got them.
Packers are 3-0 in the division.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're making the rounds. I think they done played everybody already. Okay, so here's the tricky one, and this one right here is and you know what? I know Freddie ain't gonna want to hit us, but I'm gonna say it. Look, the Giants are 2-5, and I know that look bleak, and the outlook in New York is bad right now. But I was telling her last night, the Giants, they got something. They do. They do. They just missing some power at the wide receiver position.
You don't really believe
I do believe that. Have you watched Daniel Jones play? Have you watched this kid? I'm just saying, you got Saquon Barkley back. You got both his wide receivers back. I mean, however you want to chalk that up, you know what I mean?
They're 2-5, bro.
They're 2-5. But look, in this division, look, Philly 3-4, right? And then Dallas is 4-3. All it takes is a Dallas slip up, and which almost had, I'm telling you, if Dallas had to pull off this miracle they pulled off last week, this conversation would be a lot different today. I'm just saying, because Dallas ain't. I don't know. I don't think Dallas is as dominant, JB, in my opinion, to hold on to. I think they're gonna jockey with Philadelphia for this lead to the very end, and they're gonna beat each other up so bad they're gonna let New York kind of climb and kind of mess with them a little bit.
Bro, I see what you're doing there. But and it's wishful. That's very wishful of you, Q. But you can't have a bigger slip than a 3-game losing streak by the division leader right now. You still behind. Sorry, they're out. They suck. That's what it is. That's what it is.
So, it ain't because of New York playing bad. They have lost the last 2, right? They lost the last 2. I mean, but they look. They've been winning it. Well, they ain't won but 2. So
if your team take a 3-game losing streak midway through the first half of the season, Do you think you would be even remotely at number 2 in your division? No.
No.
And then they got Detroit, Dallas, Chicago, Green Bay.
So Dallas lost 3 games. So everybody else was losing too. Is that what was happening?
Right? You would have to assume that because there's no way you can lose 3 games in a row and still be at the top.
I'm telling you, right? And have a 1 game lead over everybody else.
So something's wrong with that picture.
Oh, I knew Cool Town Cardinal was gonna make this. This is what he gonna say.
What up, Cool Town?
He said the Giants let the Cardinals beat them. Hey, listen, they did, but look, I still think. I mean, look, they
didn't let them. They got lit up. Kyler Murray was putting it on them.
New York ain't gonna win the Super Bowl this year. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying they're not completely in complete rebuild mode like say Atlanta or some other people, Miami. You know, Cincinnati. You know what I mean?
Big Q, I'm gonna put you front and center right now.
Yeah.
Remember what you said on your podcast with Vernie B that the Giants was gonna win how many games?
I said about 6, right?
No, you said 9, bro.
Okay, well let's bring that down to like 6.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Let's bring that down to like 6, right?
Okay, all right. We'll do that. We'll do. I give you a mulligan.
I'm ready for the narrative to change a little bit here in about 2 weeks.
With who? With the NFC East?
Saints and Panthers quarterback situation. I'm waiting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people done put down some real hard, solid, concrete statements.
I know.
Speaking in some severe absolutes.
I know.
But call them out by name when this shit go left. I promise you. I'm not letting it go, Q. I ain't letting it go, man.
I know you feel strongly about it.
No.
The only thing I was doing was just stating the facts. That's all I was doing. I'm just saying.
Anyway,
the quarterback's
we're gonna stay. We're gonna
time. And one comes back and it's a controversy. One comes back and it's not. It's just
exactly. And then, man, it's so many like serendipitous things happening with this situation. Mm-hmm. I don't want to get off the rails, but I'm watch this thing very close.
Well, we'll see what's happening. Well, this week will tell us the story. If Drew Brees makes the start this week and Teddy Bridgewater just concedes without any argument and like whatever, bruh. I did my part. I mean, I'm the backup, whatever. Especially if we get on some kind of podium and make a statement like that, then we know that somebody feeding them some stuff. And then, we'll see how things play.
That will be a solid, concrete narrative, man. Oh, yeah. They doing it. They want Mariota out. They want Cam out. Jameis Winston suck. Lamar Jackson suck. They want Bridgewater to stay a backup. The guy, bona fide starter, got drafted as a starter, played as a came in the league. Too, right? Oh no, they like him. He'll a couple of
don't get him started. Q.
A couple of
see him put on the soapbox right now.
They gonna do it. Okay,
yeah.
So we move into the
sure.
They gonna do it today. We move to your division class. We're going to the AFC West.
Ain't my division anymore.
Well, listen, the Chiefs, they probably gonna suffer a loss the next couple weeks, right?
They don't even like Deshaun Watson. What has he done?
Look, we're talking about
that guy winning.
Listen, but even without their fearless leader, they still got a 2-game lead on the rest of the division. The Oakland Raiders are 2 games back. So you think the Chiefs can hold on until their guy gets back and they can,
I don't know. I am very impressed, shockingly impressed with the Oakland Raiders, what they're doing. I know they're 3-3, and I ain't really expecting them to make even the wild card, but we thought they was only going to win, 3 to 4 games?
Right.
Already have 3 games right now. I think my team threw in the white flag. We gave up Emmanuel Sanders to the 49ers, so that just shows me right then and there.
They just beat Carolina with that move.
Yeah, so listen, what they got to do,
sorry,
they need to draft every quarterback in the draft, right? Every quarterback that goes in, all 7 rounds. Till
John Elway shut up, sit in the corner.
Pick on a quarterback on every round, every round of the draft.
Yes.
You know what's weird about this season, Q? They trying to give the New England Patriots this historic stamp on their defense. Yeah. Please, man, cut it.
They're ranked number 1 in the league, bro.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get me a Gardner Minshew jersey. That's what I'm gonna do. Before this whole upside down, ass backwards stuff go away.
They ranked number 1, bro.
Gardner Minshew.
Look, I went to do some research on them, and I went to go see how we got to this number 1 status, right? Over people like I don't know who had who was the other one at number 2? Somebody who was at number 2 that was a little odd to me. I forget who it was.
Packers, probably.
Yeah, maybe it was the Packers. Maybe it was the Niners. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe it was the Niners. Probably.
It could have been the Niners, right?
Yeah, it might have been the Niners, right? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I looked into the stats, and I don't know I don't know how they got number 1 ranked defense, but they got it, JB.
So, from what people argue with me is the fact that opposing teams only score such amount of points.
But I was talking to my man Joshua at work. I was talking to him. They've only played 2 teams with a winning record so far. 2.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So what does that tell you, right? So
it ain't about who they play, right? Okay, that's what I'm saying. How can you be number 1 and historical at anything? The season only halfway through. Yeah. You don't win a Super Bowl in 8 games. You don't hit the record book.
Your schedule is set up the way that the Patriots schedule is set up. And then Cool Town Corner said the Patriots D looking as good as the 85 Bears.
That's what they trying to say. I digress.
Pump the brakes.
No. Then they compared them to the 2000 Ravens. I'm like, shut up.
No.
You ain't doing jack like that.
Have their defense even scored a touchdown?
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Their defense have scored.
Yeah, but have they scored as much as the 2000 Ravens?
As much as the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens?
Or what's the 15?
They don't even own that many. They don't even own that many sacks. They don't have sacks. They just it's points against is what they're.
Are they as good as the 14?
Tampa Bay?
No, 13 Denver Broncos. The 13 Denver Broncos.
No.
The 15 Carolina Panthers. The 2000 Ravens.
2001 Bucks, nah.
Come on, no. They got a long hill to climb before they get there, bro.
You know what? They doing great. Right. Just be happy with that.
Yes.
Guess what? Last time the Ravens was the number 1 defense, we showed up to Carolina and it was a rout. So you can believe that shit. You can believe it if you want.
I know last time Carolina showed up with the number 1 defense against Denver, and they got their ass handed to them.
Okay. So shoot, when we had the number 1 defense, we went up against Seattle.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So you can believe, you can enjoy it until you actually play somebody that's a winner.
Just saying. I didn't see it happen. I'm just
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So we in agreement. We're saying that Kansas City probably gonna win the division still. Right?
Exactly.
Still,
yep.
right?
Yep.
So we're going to the AFC South. This one is interesting. So
this is gonna be tricky.
This one is interesting because they all pretty close. So the Jags and the Titans are they both tied at 3 and 4, which make them 1 game back from Indy and Houston who are tied. Well, actually.
Texans is a half game back, and Jaguars and Titans are a game and a half back.
Yeah. So look, this one can go anywhere. I mean, they making moves in Tennessee, not popular moves. JB, look, they benched Mariota, brought in Tannehill. They got some things.
Who is a bum? Who is a proven scab? He is a nobody. He can't even play. He had everything in his favor when he was. He's a no one. Sorry.
Tell me how you really feel, bro.
The guy's garbage. He shouldn't be in the league.
Wow.
Wow.
He shouldn't be in the league.
We're talking about.
He sucked. Now that is not even being funny. That's facts. That guy.
So Vrabel benched Marcus Mariota for Ryan Tannehill. I just want to be clear about this because this is what happened. So this is what's going on, and I think if I'm not mistaken, Ryan Tannehill is scheduled for the start. So now we talked about Winston and we talked about Mariota. They came in the same draft class. You got some stuff going on there, and they both kind of following the same trajectory. And I don't know what to say about them cats, but I think both of them should be on their way out, JB. To be honest with you, I have to say they both should be on their way out.
Be careful if you're going to put out what you've considered as done or they hit their ceiling to bring in trash.
Right, yeah.
I'm not letting teams off the hook with that. Okay. Nah, man. Everybody want to go through this peaceful transition.
Mariota to Tannehill was a downgrade for
it's garbage. And look how they won. Barely won. I heard people saying that Tannehill was more decisive with the foot. What does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
So listen, we got a little situation popping off in there. So Cool Town Corner started this with talking about the defense looking as good as 85 Bears. Panthers got FSU was in the building. What's going on, homie?
What up?
He had to let them know that Panthers got number 1 in the sacks, right? Josh, he's a Patriots fan. He said 18 interceptions for the Pats D.
Yeah, them gift wraps, interceptions. Hey, enjoy it. Enjoy yourself. Listen, if stats don't lie, they there.
Let's look at these 18 interceptions, right? You probably got 5 of them from Sam Darnold. You probably got 3 of them from Daniel Jones. Who else did they play?
The guy up in Buffalo gave him a couple of gifts.
They got some from Gordon Minshew as well. So I mean, look who they played against. I mean, really. I'm just saying. There's such thing like if we're looking at stats. They can be padded, Glass. They can. You can make them look any kind of way you want them to look. I'm just
where are the sacks? Where are the pressures? Where are the hurries? Okay. Where's any interceptions from linebackers? Get it, stop. Man.
Right. Well, number one defense. That's what the stats say.
Yeah, okay? they're gonna give them that, and they're gonna get their feelings hurt.
All right.
I don't think that defense could beat anybody in the NFC. Any team.
I don't think they can. They can probably beat Washington. They can probably beat Washington. Right?
I doubt it.
They can probably beat Washington. I think they can beat Washington.
I doubt it. The best team in the NFC just got a 9-0 game against a winless team.
If they went up against somebody like Green Bay or San Francisco or Carolina or somebody like that, it'll shut them down. I guarantee it, right?
They don't get their feelings hurt. Yeah, they don't get their feelings. I mean? This is what happens when you find $1,000 in counterfeit bills. You're so happy until you try to go spend it. So happy it look good until you try to go cash it in.
Right. Okay. We move to the AFC North. Baltimore pretty much this division is horrible. Courtesy of the Cincinnati Bengals, who, you know what, we talked about this, Glass, and I was gonna touch on it for a second before we move on.
Okay.
I know you, for 4 years between you and JB, y'all had so much to say about Marvin Lewis. So much to say about Marvin Lewis. That grass was so green on the other side. Oh, we need to move on from Marvin Lewis. Oh, yeah, 9 years ago into the playoffs, down the toilet. I know you ain't winning no play. Look, I get it, but I would almost every single time choose a coach who can get me 10, 11, 12 games a year. Then this guy, they can't even win one.
I don't even know who it is.
Halfway, do you know what we had in the season?
All right.
We in week 8.
Okay, stop, Big Q. You act like me and JB was the only ones on here saying that Marvin Lewis needed to leave. He been there 16 years, only won how many playoff games?
One, right?
There was needed to be a change of pace. Now I'm gonna put it out there like this.
Yeah.
I can't pick the Bengals coach. Yeah. I don't know who the hell Zach Taylor is and where he came from.
I don't know. Say about a bell.
Just because you got rid of a good, just you got rid of a good coach, don't mean the next one's gonna be better. I'm proof here in Chicago. We got rid of Lovie Smith with a 10-6 record.
So for the people who live in Cincinnati, right? What are they thinking right now, JB? Oh, we need to move on from Marvin Lewis. Everybody was talking all that crap.
They did, man. Stop playing. You act like they did. Yes.
What have they won?
They just need to find another.
I'm gonna quantify this just like I quantified the move that Carolina made when they got rid of, when they called themselves firing Dave Gettleman and bringing back Marty Hurney, or bringing in Norv Turner as the offensive coordinator. What has Carolina won since Norv Turner came? He just got his first 5 wins, right? Hold up. Let's go back to the GM, right? What has happened? Like, everybody they're quick to move on, but then you get this crap, and so Cincinnati looking real like they look worse than the Cleveland Browns looked over the last 6 years. They look real bad right now, JB.
All right, JB, let me jump in real quick. Let me ask you this, Big Q.
Yeah.
You know what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over again and expecting the same result. They had 16. How many years?
A lot.
15, it was the longest tenured coach.
I'm not justifying the pick of Zach Taylor. I'm not saying that, but there's a point of time where you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have a quality team. You're making it through the seasons, winning 10 plus games. They can't do nothing in the playoffs. Yeah. They needed to make a change. Now, I'm not agreeing with the change that they made, but a change needed to be made.
Well, I ask you this, JB. If Marvin Lewis was still on them sidelines with the clipboard, would they be 0-7 right now?
No.
And that's
because Marvin Lewis was never the problem. He just was the face of a bad quarterback. Right. And who's that guy's backup? Because he needs to be in there.
He definitely needs to be in there, right? He definitely needs to be in there. You know what I mean?
Why nobody ain't calling for his job?
No, ain't nothing like that happening, right? Ain't nothing like that happening.
Guy ain't won a game. Guy ain't even came close. He having his worst statistical season ever. I'm in this division. I know.
Yeah.
Okay. the backup, the 2 guys playing quarterback in Pittsburgh are having better seasons than one Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling for his job.
Nobody.
I mean, come on, man.
Look, I see you building the case, JB. It's cool. Okay.
I mean, they're trying to say I'm crazy, but can you not see this? Can you not see it?
I ain't disagreeing with you, but I'm saying, but I think we can agree that I think unless something crazy happened, which I think really the only threat coming out of there maybe is probably going to be Cleveland. If you want to call it a quote unquote threat, if you want to call it, I mean, who is opposing the Baltimore Ravens right now? You know what I mean?
Like, there's another guy. He got all these commercials. He ain't won nothing. Baker Mayfield has proven to be average at the best.
Well, you know what? This is what I got something to say about Baker Mayfield later in the show when we talk about these games. I got something.
Mediocre, overrated.
Baker Mayfield, okay? But let's look at this.
Bro, if they say JB come in here and throw the ball to two Pro Bowl receivers and a tight end that's up and coming, and you got this prolific run game, I'll be able to do that.
Okay. All right.
I feel like I could do it. Baker Mayfield, I don't know.
Baker Mayfield got skills, but y'all gonna recognize. Okay, and the world gonna see it this week at 4:25 this Sunday, and we'll talk about it here in a minute. Last division, which ain't really much to talk about here. New England Patriots 7-0. They 2 games over the Buffalo Bills. Nobody else in the division is even close to.
How you let a guy who can't throw lead your division? Supposedly, how you let a running back as quarterback run the division?
Well, because of the Bengals, they are not given any competition. Pittsburgh ain't playing.
You sound like Whitlock right now. Baker Mayfield sucks. Okay, Andy Dalton suck. Okay, that's what it is, man. It is what it is.
You ain't gonna hear me say Baker Mayfield suck. I'm not gonna say that.
Baker Mayfield suck. They should be winning division. They got a head and shoulders. That roster is head and shoulders above the Ravens, Steelers, and the Bengals right now.
I think that division. I think Cleveland is still in Ravens shock right now. I think Ravens shocked everybody. Like maybe Ravens red zone, maybe a few other Ravens fans might have had the foresight to see this, but the rest of us, come on, bro.
There's no more shock value than having Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. on your roster, bro, starting out there on the field.
Okay.
Listen, man.
What that body of work.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave this alone with the Cleveland Browns. History is definitely repeating itself because we've seen this, maybe 10 years ago with the Philadelphia Eagles. They got all these top line free agents on the team. Mm-hmm. They finished with.
They call themselves the Super
Dream Team.
Yes.
What Vince Young said.
Yeah, man. Vince Young. Oh, man.
That's the same thing we doing right here with the Cleveland Browns.
Right. So so is anybody going to oppose the new? So we got the New England Patriots getting the bye in the playoffs, right? That's what we got. Is they gonna get the home field advantage?
Hey man, I'm gonna give shouts out to the Bills, man. They only a game and a half behind. I don't know how the hell they like that, but I like their defense is legit. Now if everybody got a legit defense,
they tiptoeing around the Patriots. So I think they
just gotta stay behind, just stay close.
That's all you got to stay close, right? Let the Patriots slip up, which we're gonna talk about that. Let's get it. Let's not even waste no time. Let's do it. Where we going this week?
All right, man. First game I got on the dock. I ain't got that much on the dock because it's a lot of blowout games.
It's 2 big ones. Would you call them blowouts? I call them upsets. We'll talk about it.
All right, man. We got the Green Bay Packers. The 6-1 Green Bay Packers going up to Arrowhead Stadium and play the 5-2 Kansas City Chiefs without Mahomes.
Yeah, clearly the Chiefs gonna take an L here. Their defense ain't got no better, and they need to step up. And in the absence of their other quote unquote MVP quarterbacks in Seattle, I think they're gonna take a loss right here. They might lose the next week too. They need to get him back. I think Packers they roll on. JB, where you at?
Oh man, I think the Chiefs rally somehow with Matt Moore and pull it off.
Yeah.
Woo.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna say Aaron Rodgers is gonna pick the Chiefs defense apart, especially the secondary. So I'm gonna go ahead with the Packers.
Them boys are straight garbage, like flaming pile of garbage.
And they can't even stop the run game. And I don't know who's the running back for the Packers, but he's about to get at least 120 yards.
The Chiefs are bad, man. They pretty rough. All right, Glass. What's the next one?
All right, next up, we got the 3-4 Philadelphia Eagles going to New Era Field to play the 5-1 Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that's a good one, right? Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Man. Okay. So what you think about that one, Glass? What you think about that one?
Man, I want to go with the Bills, but you know what, Philadelphia Eagles and a lot of teams I've seen this year, they're really inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get each week. I'm going to stick with the consistency. The 5-1, that's as consistent as you can do.
Yeah.
They're playing at home. I'm going with the Bills over the Eagles.
At this point in the season, JB, the Philadelphia Eagles got to get themselves together, bro. If they want to be considered a contender in that division and they're going to just let Dallas run away with it just so they can get embarrassed in the playoffs, I think Philadelphia needs to step their game. But unfortunately, they're going into Buffalo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. See,
Yes.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Buffalo on this one, JB.
Okay.
I think the Eagles win. Ain't gonna win a surprise, but it ain't gonna hurt them because the fake juice. I probably have to come on here and retract my statement.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be feeling themselves. Because I think the Cleveland Browns are somehow upset New England this coming up too. So New England, and the Bills will lose, and everything will remain the same.
Yeah, there you go. Right, there you go. So Glass, look, I see you looking crazy. I warned you. I didn't know JB was gonna co-sign. I didn't know he was gonna do that. I didn't know that was gonna happen.
I feel
did
that.
Y'all
Man.
just say the Browns were going to beat the Patriots?
Listen, you heard the podcast. You listened to it, did you?
Yeah, but I thought you had time to readjust.
I am standing on that one.
Okay, you think Baker Mayfield feeling himself for losing? This is gonna create a whole new thing when they win this game.
Listen, if they don't win no other games for the rest of the season, look, Glass, I'm even willing. Look, you know what? I made a mistake and I did this.
And they play. Wait, whoa. And they play at Gillette Stadium.
Yes, they're going to Gillette.
Y'all go ahead and make them picks.
I did this last year.
I'm going to. I thought the Jets would get them, but they didn't.
I did this last year and I lost, but I'm coming back. We got to do one every year. Let's put a box of them things on it, bro. Let's.
Oh, what? Whoa!
Let's put a box of that. I feel that good about it.
Are you serious?
I feel that good about it.
I do too, Glass.
I feel that good about it,
bro.
Whoa,
wait a minute. Hold up. Did you say you want to give me another box?
Look, I admitted I lost last year.
Off of this one game?
Off this one game. Let's put a box of them things on it.
Got one.
Let's do. Look,
got one.
425.
You got one.
I'm telling you.
Okay. All right.
Like,
I want. You can give me the same brand. I'll take. I'm cool with that.
Just all right, man. The hypotenuse is a little skewed. Listen, I'm telling you, this is when I feel it in my bones. Like, first of all, it's time for New England to lose. You know, I think look, the offense is already looking sketchy. The only thing that's been saving them this year is that defense, right? And I think the Browns are unpredictable. I think they will go in there, and I mean, look, it ain't gonna be pretty by no stretch of the imagination. But I feel good about it, Glass.
And they gotta pick a game to lose because they draw us the week after.
Yeah,
we're on the bye.
Sure enough,
we're on the bye.
Big Q.
Yeah,
Big Q.
I'm taking that too, Glass.
Padron 3000.
Look, I know what it is.
All right.
I know what it is, right?
All right.
Because I had to get you something last year. You know what I'm saying? Right?
All right, man. Y'all want to move on?
Yeah, we're ready to move on.
Because I want to hear what y'all got to say about this game.
I'm ready for this one too. I'm ready for this one.
The 4-2 Carolina Panthers going up to Levi Stadium to play the undefeated 6-0 San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, all right. Let me chill out for a second. Now, listen, I do believe,
and there's narrative that's gonna go on because Carolina gonna get destroyed,
right?
And I want to see what we're gonna do and what's gonna be the word next week. So I'm definitely taking the 49ers 7-0. 7-0.
Okay, hold on. So you saying Kyle Allen gets destroyed by the San Francisco defense? They call for Cam Newton, right? They rally cry goes out for Cam.
Oh, right. Here we go. Are we ready to write this narrative up?
Do you think Cam comes in the game at halftime?
Oh,
Cam
really?
don't play. Cam sit on the sideline with his towel over his head and shake his head because he ain't gonna believe what he's seeing.
No, with a scarf over his head.
So does Cam dress for this game?
He dressed, and then and Kyle gonna look. It's gonna look not good.
Listen,
Didn't y'all just say the Bosa fella was on the MVP tour?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, listen.
They gonna take Christian McCaffrey away. They already know that's what's going on.
Obviously, clearly, that's the number one.
But they gonna try. That guy still gonna get his because he's good.
So let's look at this though. I mean, because you know what? Last night on the podcast, I went all in on San Francisco against my Carolina Panthers. But you know, I done had a day, about 24 hours to sit here and think about this. We got a good defense too, okay?
Listen, man. Go ahead.
Our defense is good too, okay? And I think my boys, they go head hunting. You know, Kuechly and you know and Shaq Thompson and all them boys. They go head hunting, and we got some thieves back there in the secondary now. You know what? We ain't scared of no Garoppolo. You know, we ain't scared of no Garoppolo, bro.
Listen, I'm just gonna put you like this. This is the narrative that I've seen with the Chicago Bears, with the Denver Broncos, and it's gonna happen with this game against the 49ers with your Panthers. Defense gonna show up. They're gonna make it look good in the first half. But since the offense can't put points on the board, in which they're not gonna put points on the board against that 49er defense, defense gonna get tired of being on the field, and that's when the 49ers gonna take advantage of it.
You know, and if we're being for real, that's probably where the game's gonna go. You know what? Because I just don't think. And granted, I think everybody talking about how more accurate Kyle Allen is than Cam, but Cam got other ways to put points on the board, and Kyle Allen ain't figured that out yet. They can't score enough, and they won't score enough. And sadly, you know what I mean. I think that San Francisco probably will get Carolina by about score and a half. Probably they probably win by like 10. You know what I'm saying, right? But yeah, so I mean, look at C. McCarver. He was waiting on it. He was like, you better pick red. Look, I'm just saying. Give you props, man. He was waiting on. He was like, he get ready to pick the Panthers. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Not this go around.
7-0. Bring back Cam.
So yeah, now they will. I think Kyle Allen get ready to get humbled right here. The narrative definitely get ready to get kicked up a notch, JB.
I'm not picking the Panthers until that fella is out.
Right. We come back here next week, and the narrative is going to be done took another leap forward. Panthers got FSU say Eric Reed is coming. Listen, I think it's going to be a good game. We're going to all watch it. And look here, C. McCarver. I'm going to tell my hat. Your boys are good, man. Y'all get us this time. Y'all get us this time.
If the Panthers do win, you're going to have to give that secondary and Luke Kuechly his props.
Absolutely.
And talk about how valuable that trade was for old buddy from Tampa Bay to be on the front line. Yeah. Nobody's talking about that.
And I want to see. Now if Carolina do pull it off, which I'm not picking Carolina, but if Carolina does pull it off, look at McCarver. I need you to show back up next week. I need you to show.
Oh, come on, man.
I do. And Josh, you getting ready to take a big L by the Browns? I'm telling you, I got a box of cigars on it.
Wow. Yes, thank you. Anyway, I'll say it ahead of time. Thank you.
Pretty compelling conversation here tonight. I want to thank all the fellas for coming out tonight. I can't go down the list. Everybody's in the building tonight. Y'all guys make the show a whole lot of fun, man. We definitely have a blast doing it. And we got to wrap it up, though, because Glass got some things to do. It was fun hanging out with you guys tonight, though, but I want to let my boys put themselves over real quick. Go ahead and do it, Glass. Go ahead and do it for yourself, man.
All right, man. I appreciate everybody joining in on the conversation. That's what we want. That's what we need. If you don't catch me here with my bros, Big Q, JB on TeamBoydTV Live, or on Tuesday mornings on the Fallout with Big Q, you can follow me on all social medias: Twitter, Sage of Sports 1, Instagram, Facebook, The Sage of Sports. Email me at thesageofsports@gmail.com. And thank you again, Big Q, for the cigars that's coming.
Oh, really? The game ain't even started yet.
It ain't got to start.
Listen, I'm gonna work out something this week because I want to hear actual telephone call from Josh and from C. McCarver. I'm gonna set it up so that they can call into the show. I need to hear their excuses for listening.
Okay.
I need to hear it, right? Someone work on that this week. JB, go ahead and put yourself over for the fans.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna make this short and sweet, man. Thanks everybody, per usual. Next week on the show should be a little bit live. It should be awesome. Should be an awesome show next week. But you can always find me here. I'll definitely be here next week on time, on the spot, or on Twitter at Raven Shogun. Free Cam Newton, man.
Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out, man. Look, y'all are awesome as always, man. Make sure you share the video with everybody, man, and let everybody know how dope the show is. We definitely appreciate it. Until next week, and like I said, I'm gonna make sure I get the telephone working. Just for Josh and just for C. McCarver. Just for them two. Them the two that we need to hear from. And we'll catch y'all next week, man. Hope everything works out, and we'll see y'all. Peace.
Smoke them if you got them.
Oh, man.